Again, everybody, it's Scott Casper. We continue our coverage of the sport. We head out to Colorado Springs. The new coach of the Air Force Falcons joins us. He's Sam Barber. Sam, good morning.
Morning, Scott. How are you?
Good, Coach. First of all, thank you very much for joining us. Congratulations on the job. It was announced just a couple days ago that your director of athletics, Dr. Hansmule, would be hiring you to take over the reins after spending the last 6 years as an assistant there. A big opportunity to become a head coach again, number one. But man, you're taking over the mighty Falcons.
Yep. Yeah, I can't tell you. It's extremely humbled, extremely grateful, and very excited for the opportunity.
You joined the Air Force wrestling program back in '08 as a volunteer assistant, and you've been a part of the change and restructuring. If you can share with our viewers what the biggest changes are, what would they be?
Biggest changes in the program, or
Right, biggest changes in the Air Force wrestling program since '08.
So, since '08, really there hasn't been a lot of big changes. There's been a commitment by the Air Force Academy to be a competitive Division I wrestling program. We've built a brand new facility for full-size mats, a beautiful team room with leather recliners and an 80-inch TV. Institutional commitment to support our recruiting efforts. Institutional commitment to support competition efforts. We took 9 guys to the U.S. Open Field Juniors. This spring, we're headed to Akron, Ohio, tomorrow with 5 guys to compete. The institutional commitment.
So I think it's fair to say, Sam, that the institutional commitment to the program has increased, and your facilities are the biggest change that we've seen. Your facilities are second to none in the country.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a world-class facility, and it's not even complete yet. We still have 4 TVs that are going to be installed with video cameras to onto a DVR where you can drill and then come back and watch your repetitions or your practice. It's going to be world-class, state-of-the-art, and on par with the best facilities in the country.
You brought in some of the great wrestlers of the modern era of the Air Force Academy as the director or the recruiting coordinator for Coach Sheridan and the program. Let's talk a bit about recruiting across the country. That has changed over the last 5 years. It's getting very, very competitive. I think you're able to see a lot of kids on the internet. You're able to watch YouTube videos of kids wrestling. You get a better idea who they are, but then they still have to get to Air Force, don't they? They still have to get in.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people say, well, that must be challenging. Actually, it's not, because it actually narrows your pool down of qualified applicants. And once you figure out what that pool is and you start pursuing those young men, those athletes, the right fit for the institution, and they feel like the institution is the right place for them. But in the past, I think maybe there was an attitude of let's just accept the best guys that are interested in the Air Force Academy. And I think over the last 5 years or so, we've changed that philosophy into seeking out the best wrestlers we could possibly find, educate them on the opportunities of the Air Force Academy, and hopefully we make a connection that way, and they see the great opportunity that we provide as being a great fit for them, and we feel like they're the right person for our institution and our program.
Your resume does include, as I mentioned, a pair of head coaching stints, 10 years at the international level as well. We just saw a major change at the international coaching level with the hire of Matt Lindland yesterday as the new head coach for Greco for Team USA. I'll just ask you before we move on, did that move surprise you?
It's obviously I was at USA Wrestling prior to coming to the Air Force Academy, so our relationship with USA Wrestling and the Olympic Training Center is outstanding. We're only 10 miles away. I'm down there at a minimum weekly, interacting with the staff in the organization. So I have the utmost respect and admiration for the decision that Rich Bender makes running that organization. So, I don't know Matt personally, but I've been around him. I watched him as a competitor. I've seen him coach over the past few years, and, I have no doubt that he's completely qualified and going to do an outstanding job with that Greco program. Steve Frazier, I would consider a close friend. I would say that he's got some big shoes to fill, but I know that Rich and Matt and Les and Cody Bickley, the guys making those decisions, they have complete confidence in them, and I have complete confidence in their ability to make a great decision with that hire.
And you probably more than others would be a good judge of the process, having been on the inside looking out, now on the outside looking in, but still close. 18 years of a coaching experience for you, and I mentioned it. The head coach at your alma mater, Upper Iowa, once a Peacock, always a Peacock?
I'm pretty proud of being a Peacock. It's a pretty unique place. It's unless you've been there to the town of Fayette, 500 people, and been at the institution. I don't think I guess it's closer to 1,500 people, but it's a small institution. It's a small community. They care about their people. That hasn't changed, I don't believe, since when I was there. I was very fortunate, just pure luck to be there when Mike McCready was there. He's been an influence in my life hugely back when I was an athlete and worked for him as a coach, but his influence is probably the main influence in my life as I move forward and had the good fortune to have the opportunities I had. And I would say that a lot of that credit goes back to Fayette, Iowa, Upper Iowa University, and Mike McCready.
I think that's excellent. I give credit where credit's due. McCready's one of the respected cats out there, that's for sure. You then went on to traditional D3 powerhouse Augsburg College in Minnesota. I don't know that there was a huge difference between the two programs, but I guarantee you learned something different there, didn't you?
Yeah, Augsburg is I would tell you it was a big program when I was there. We had a large staff of about 9 coaches. We had a large roster of 50 athletes. We were fully funded. We were able to compete. We had Division I victories over Oregon State. We placed ahead of teams like Navy and Purdue in tournaments. In 2005, we had 6 guys in the national finals. I think we ended up with 4 national champions and 10 All-Americans, nobody less than 4th place. So it's small college wrestling, but it was a big-time program based on the institutional support with the budget, the opportunities to compete, and the caliber of the athletes we were working with.
George Nelson is the Associate Athletic Director there at Air Force. He said that we have, without a doubt, found the right guy to lead our wrestling program into the future. He's a great recruiter, a teacher, a mentor for these future officers to learn from. He understands our mission and how our cadet athletes fit into it and contribute to the mission. He's confident, he goes on to say, that he and his staff will and you and your staff, I should say, will be competitive for a long time. I know that's high praise indeed coming from George Nelson, but that leads me to the question on the mat and in the room: has the vision changed for the program, or indeed, what is your vision?
Yeah, the vision hasn't changed for the program. I've been part of this program for the last 6 years, and the pathway we're on is the right pathway. Coach Sherritt provided me with an unbelievable opportunity to be here, and this is completely unexpected that I'm in this position, but I believed in what we were doing, and I believed in the way we were doing it. So there's not going to be widespread changes. It's just going to be a continuation of the path we're on with probably, my own individual input. You have to be the kind of coach. You have to be your own coach. You can't be somebody else. So I can't lead the program like Joel Sherritt led it. I have to lead the program like Sam Barber would lead it. But, the philosophy, the belief in scoring points and getting guys tired and working hard, that core piece of the program doesn't go away. So really there's not a lot of widespread changes. It's just you add your own personal touches to it. Your own personality has to come through, and being sincere and being true to who you are. And I think that would provide a better model for our athletes to follow. If I'm true to myself and my beliefs versus trying to be somebody else. But the program was on solid ground. It was headed a solid foundation. A lot of things were in place. The structure of the program's in place, and that's the great thing about having continuity of myself and Coach Horton here, is that you don't have to come in and reinvent the wheel. It's just a continuation of all the great things we were already doing.
The Air Force Academy made a great hire in their selection for their new wrestling coach, Jay Robinson said. He went on to say that Sam Barber exemplifies all the values that the Academy looks for in a role model and leader for their cadets: honor, perseverance, and integrity, with a deep-seated belief that their that he is there to help each cadet to be the best that they can be. High praise indeed coming from a man that, for the most of us, we have ultimate respect for, and that's Jay Robinson. Does that embarrass you?
It's, I don't think sometimes we look at ourselves the same way people from the outside look at us. So obviously all the great things and support have been said, in response to me in this position, it's been humbling and it's overwhelming, I would tell you. But Coach Robinson saying that stuff, it's hard for me to see myself the way Coach sees me. But I've been around. I met Coach Robinson in 1992 in at Fayette, Iowa, and I started working Coach Robinson intensive camps from 1992 until probably 2009. So about 15 to 16 years
Wow.
of working 10 weeks of summer for Coach, and his influence is probably second to Mike McCready's influence on my career and who I am in my coaching philosophy. So the amount of respect and admiration I have for Coach Robinson is unbelievable.
Yeah, he's done a lot of things right in his career, that's for sure. I appreciate you taking the time to talk with us, Sam. I know that there are some people that you would like to thank, surely friends, family, coworkers, that have made this transition, this hire possible, and the transition easier. But who would they be? Who would you like to thank?
It's hard to, when you do that, you're ultimately going to leave somebody out. But I need to thank my family, having my wife and my 15-month-old daughter, Avon. Their support through this process has been without. They've just been there every step of the way, and it's been a blessing. Obviously, the administration at the Air Force Academy, Dr. Hans Mew, Mr. for having the confidence in me to lead this program, and then some of the people who've already talked about it, Mike McCready and Jay Robinson, and anybody else my path has crossed. Joe Russell is a peer and a close friend of mine. There's just so many people. I've been so blessed to be in this profession, in this people for the last 18 years. It'd be hard to thank everybody, but my family, the administration at the United States Air Force Academy, and all my close friends that have supported me through this transition into this position.
Sam, it's always good to talk to you. We're looking forward to seeing what the next steps are for you, for the program, and for your team. It's always interesting to see how programs evolve, for sure. Sam, good to talk to you. Congratulations.
You too, Scott. Thanks a lot.
He's Sam Barber, the new head coach of the Falcons of Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs. They are flying high indeed. Sam Barber, their new coach. I'm Scott Casper from Takedown, and we thank you for watching.